Hello everybody, NIO Lifer here. Today's video is coming from a very special location. I just found this hotel today. I'm not staying here right now, but I might consider moving here because it's a very beautiful hidden hotel here. Very, very nice, very beautiful. I have to say the setting looks amazing. I just told the manager here that I'm making a video, so she gracefully withdrawn so that I have an entire cafe hotel lobby for myself to make a video of this for you guys. What do you think about that? First of all, I'm surprised and amazed by the setting of this hotel. This looks like an amazing boutique hotel that has everything you can imagine. So I'm not being paid or anything for plugging this, but all I did was buying a coffee here, and the coffee tastes amazing too. So based on the coffee quality, I can absolutely vouch for the quality of the hotel itself, and it's not overly expensive, near the beach side too. Seriously consider, Lloyd, people. Okay, now talking about NIO now. All right, the last two videos have done extremely well. I want to thank everybody for subscribing, liking, and commenting on the last two videos. I made those videos because it was an urgent situation with BYD, and therefore I want to be sure that everybody is extremely well informed. And now we have additional informations. However, those information are positive in a way for NIO. Let's just call it that way. Let me first of all reiterate that whatever I'm telling you is third-party information. So that means I do not have first-hand information. As you know, I'm right now in Hua Hin, I'm not in China. There are no NIO cars here whatsoever, and whatever Chinese cars sold here as compared to the Chinese domestic market is nothing, absolutely nothing. So I want you to understand the rise and fall of the Chinese EV market determines about the share price of the investment you're making. And we as a group investing in NIO because NIO represents the most highest quality, best user experience EV ecosystem that the world has ever seen. I'm not exaggerating. This is really true. Right now, if you buy into an ecosystem of electric cars, there's no better ecosystem in the world to buy into than NIO ecosystems. You would think Tesla is better, but in reality, Tesla has already done something that BYD is doing right now, which is slaughtering their existing owners by lowering the prices multiple times again and again to sell through volume. And because of that, Tesla is something, as a shareholder, probably you made it out okay because a lot of people invest in Tesla and a lot of people shorted Tesla, and the people who shorted Tesla caused the share price actually to rise, not to fall. And now with NIO is a similar situation, similar to Tesla a few years ago. Basically, NIO right now is at the verge of a breakout because as soon as the fourth quarter comes in, NIO will turn profitable. I'm almost certain NIO profitability fourth quarter is inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable. Let me explain to you first of all what profit actually means. A lot of people think that profit is money in the bank. That's not the case. So in accounting terms, everything can be profits. For example, let's say if you take NIO, the business, sell everything, and then buy Bitcoin. I'm just giving you an extreme version of this example. Imagine William Lee decides to go the new route and making just profits from capital gains. All they have to do is liquidate everything, sell everything to a third party. Let's say sell the entire ecosystem to somebody else, raise the cash, and then just buy Bitcoin. Okay, and then next year Bitcoin doubles, then the company can book a doubling in capital gains, and that's profit. But in reality, you didn't make any money because as long as you haven't sold those Bitcoin yet, you haven't made a real profit. And this is the reason I want people to understand. The reason why NIO is not profitable yet is because NIO has a very aggressive investment schedule for the technological investment, infrastructure investment, and every other investment. NIO is basically laying the foundation for an ecosystem that is unrivaled by anybody else. And because of that, NIO is spending a lot of money, and the money that's spent is being also gradually written down in accounting terms. For example, a swap station. A swap station costs $500,000 US. Let me just tell you up front. It costs $500,000 US from the construction all the way to release and so on. The whole thing is about $500,000 US, at least in Europe. I don't know the exact number here in China, but in Europe it's about $500,000 US. Now, once the station is in the ground, it can last for a very long time. However, in accounting terms, the station starts to depreciate right away. That means if not enough people using that station at the moment, that station is making a huge loss. But imagine somebody wants to take over the ecosystem of NIO. They're not going to buy that station as a scrap metal, because that station after 5 years is written down to zero. So that does not mean that automatically you can get the NIO's ecosystem for free just because accounting-wise it has been written down. So I hope you understand the difference between accounting profitability and actual cash flow profitability. So the detail in NIO, a lot of people spread misinformation about NIO cars and saying NIO is not making money on the cars. That's also not true. NIO is actually currently making money on every car sold. The gross margin is okay. It's not that bad. But the key is the NIO's long-term money doesn't just come from the cars sold. The cars sold is similar to, how do I say, a mobile phone network that sells you a mobile phone. What do you think? How much money the mobile phone network makes off selling you this mobile phone compared to how much money they're going to make off you for your lifetime renting a phone number from them? That is similar to that. So NIO's ecosystem is designed to lock in the customer for the rest of their entire lifespan. I'm not talking about the lifespan of the car. I'm talking about the lifespan of the customer. The average customer base for NIO, based on my observation, is about 40 years old. Average number, I'm just saying average. The 40-year-old man or woman buying a NIO for the first time might end up staying in the NIO ecosystem for 30 years, easily. So the value of 30 years transportation is all locked in by getting the customer into the NIO ecosystem. So right now they sold 800,000 cars roughly, and that 800,000 cars lifetime value of each customer, how much it is. I want you to take that number, 800,000, multiply what do you think the lifetime value of that customer is, and then value that against the market cap of the company. Then you compare the same thing to other companies where they are selling a car and they're just selling a car like BYD, and then people don't get very good experience with BYD, and then they will switch over to the next cheap car that they can find because they bought it on price and there's no ecosystem advantage in BYD. Whether you buy a BYD or XPeng, it's the same ecosystem, which is just charging. So when you look at it from that perspective, NIO share price is unbelievably low priced. So I want you to understand the low valuation of NIO will not stay forever. Just like Apple share price was low for an extended period of time, but once the iPhone ecosystem comes out, Apple gets revalued as a recurring cash generating business that has a very healthy margin. Right now, NIO's margin is non-existent because all the money goes into reinvestments. But once we have overcome the initial investment hurdle, and then additional expansion of NIO will happen with partnerships around the world. I'm not sure if you know this, but NIO plans to expand its product offering to 30 plus countries worldwide, and they're going to use the dealership model instead of direct model. The difference is once you have a dealership model, it's like a franchise, then you can collect fees based on other people's work, similar to Starbucks or McDonald's, let's call it that way. So the upside potential from today's perspective in NIO's network is so high that I believe right now not a single analyst is evaluating it at the correct ratio at this moment. So based on my personal analysis, NIO share price should be right now worth about $15 per share US. But in the future, when we expand the network, when we acquire more customer base, this can easily be $60, $70, or even $100 per share. And that's the reason I make a long-term goal $100 per share, not because it is worth $100 today. It is not. It is today worth about $15. If someone take over NIO's company today at a fair value, he'll be paying $15 US. And if Apple take over the company, it will probably pay $20 US. But if NIO keep growing itself with the partnership with companies like CATL and so on, then entirely possible NIO can be the renewable energy company, the sustainable transportation company of the future, far more than Tesla or than anybody else could be. So the absolute upside potential for NIO share price is actually the market cap of Tesla today plus the market cap of Apple today. I let you do the math. That is the absolute ceiling where NIO could go. I don't think we'll get there overnight. I also don't think other company will let this happen without a fight. And therefore, you have to evaluate based on the worst case, medium base, and best case scenario. And based on all these three analysis, my confident prediction is $15 to $20 is absolutely inevitable. That is if the company does not run out of cash and does not stop getting new investments in. I don't think that's going to happen, by the way, because big investors like Abu Dhabi Investment Fund has put already way too much money into this. They're not going to let this go down. So instead, everybody looking at NIO shares had to look at it from a big picture perspective, knowing this is one of the few companies that can become a true global brand that's actually coming from China. That is a luxury global brand that no one else is able to build so easily. Think about this way. If somebody like Apple wants to build a NIO's network, how much money do they have to take? And how much time do they have to spend to create such a competitive network to compete against NIO? Let that sink in, okay? So I hope you like this video. And as always, please like and subscribe. And I will make more videos in the future from this town. I will be staying here for the next 30 days. And I will introduce you guys to the town as well. All right? Thanks a lot for watching. I'll give you a final panning shot. And see you in the next one.